Ah, man, if you were to write down your wish list of what all must happen in a T20 game, this game pretty much checked just all of those. There were just so many exciting moments. And even till the last over, the 25 required, you still thought that South Africa had a chance and that they were still in the game. And that's what you like, a game that's in play till the very, very end. So that's it. India has won the game. India were put into bat and put up a mammoth 219. And South Africa, geez, they really made a fist of it, didn't they? They went after it. It was Marco Jansen, the unlikely hero, the unlikely batting hero for South Africa, I must add. Got a 54 of 17 balls. And, he just didn't get the kind of support that he should have got on the other end. Yes, Heinrich Klaasen got 41 of 22, but he needed another something around a 250 strike rate kind of innings to support him because he scored at over 300. He was just absolutely fantastic. But South Africa, in the end, falling short by 11 runs in a run fest that has yielded over 425 runs today. Do you want to be a bowler? Do you want to be a bowler? Well, some days you do. Today, maybe not that much at Centurion. Well, I'm Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live. I have Dinesh Karthik and Zaheer Khan here with me. DK, I got to say, the best part of any game, whether any sport, any contest that you watch, is if both teams are still in play, just really close to the end. And you have to say that South Africa, though they look knocked out of the game, maybe at the 10 over, 11 over mark, they really came back in basically on the back of a brilliant knock by Marco Jansen.
A brilliant game. It was great to watch from a neutral point of view. And what was amazing is, in this T20 format, you could be out of the game for about 75%, 80% of the game, but someone just has a good day at the back end, and you're within touching distance of winning that game. And you were saying that stat, saying they needed 54 of 16, and that's exactly what Marco Jansen got. And if God forbid, if one of them up top had done something slightly better, you're talking about South Africa winning the game on the back of one special knock there. If you do look at the scorecard, you'll realize that there are three batters who have done very well. Markram, Klaasen, but it was Marco Jansen who made the big difference with pure, clean six hitting. The rest of them almost played at a run a ball a lot of the times, and that's why the pressure was there. India bowled brilliantly in the power play, not so well through the middle. And again, I thought Arshdeep was very, very good at the end. So it's become a game where if you can control two of the three phases, you end up dominating a game, but not today. I thought South Africa batted so beautifully in the latter stages of the game that they put immense pressure. You can see the relief in Suryakumar's face. It was literally like, oh my God, I'm happy it's done now.
Yeah, because it came much closer than he thought it would.
This was a game of small margins, and that's where you got to applaud how Indians fielded also.
Yeah.
And South Africa, if you just compare the game, when there are small margins, it's an ideal game where you can just explain to everyone that why we talk about not bowling those no balls.
Yeah,
why
you're going to extras, aren't you?
Those small little things, if you're doing well, suddenly make a huge difference in a game like this.
Yeah, because compared to 10 wides and 3 no balls that South Africa did, India did 1 wide and no ball. There's your difference.
Exactly. And those runs scored of the no ball as well.
Yep.
But India controlled those extras very well, which means just focused on the discipline. The discipline is what eventually got them the victory. You look at Arshdeep's discipline at the back end, making sure that under pressure, he's doing the right thing. Hardik had gone for an expensive 19th over. And after that, suddenly the momentum is with the South African batters. At that stage, Marco Jansen looking very, very threatening.
Yeah.
So delaying that game also at that stage on account of injury was something, maybe a sort of a tactic, because Tilak Varma didn't go out. He still continued fielding.
Yeah.
And so maybe at that stage, Surya wanted to just delay that momentum, break that momentum a little bit. Next ball resulted in a single. Arshdeep backing himself to bowl those Yorkers and saving the day when it came to the crunch moment.
That's right, because how Surya was talking to Tilak was not suspicious at all.
Hello, Gaurav.
Take your time. Don't leave. You have to break the momentum right now. Because when you're asking a guy just if he's okay and he doesn't have a concussion, I don't think you need to hide what you're saying at that point in time. So, yeah, well, I mean, these again become little tactics which are part of the game, because Marco Jansen was just he was a bulldozer at that point in time. But I just want to talk about his his hitting. When you look at this, you look at his 4-4s and you look at 5-6s. What this graphic will not tell you, perhaps not this picture also, is just how clean he hits the ball. He is so tall. He's like a fifth floodlight on the ground. But just that swing, it's almost like a golf swing.
No, he's hit 9 out of the 16 balls that he's faced for boundaries. Now, that in itself is very special. You don't do it on most days. Even if you have a net session, if somebody gives you 15 throwdown balls, to connect 9 out of that is a very high number. It tells you that he's someone who can hit boundaries with very minimum fuss. And what makes it really special for a player of his height is obviously long levers. You know, when you speak about power, we all often speak about bat speed, but long levers play such a big role in hitting the ball a long way. And Marco Jansen is a great example of someone who uses that to his advantage. Very tall in the crease and has got a very free, fluid swing. There is no momentum lost in the way the bat comes down after backlift. And that's why he is so effective when he gets going. Obviously, when somebody is as tall and has the kind of technique he has, there will be a minus side to it. But at this stage of the game, which is the last 4-5 overs, when he has to play 10-12 balls, if he is in good rhythm, he'll always be a very hard bowler to bowl to simply because he is able to miss hit for sixes as well. He hit a couple of balls which are almost yorkers, and he hit 1 over long off and 1 over sweeper. Now, those are special shots. You can't do it. Not many people can do it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. We talk about partnerships. When you're chasing 220, of course, you need solid partnerships. India got it up front, right? With Abhishek and Tilak Varma after losing Sanju Samson in the first over. They put on 107 runs at that point in time. And that really was kind of the tent pole around which everything else got built. You see here, there is that Klaasen Miller 58 of 35. But you needed something which could have been the anchor that the chase could have been pegged around.
Look, to be fair, I think the first 10 overs, India managed to squeeze South Africa very well. South African batters were trying to show that intent, but they were not able to get away with that.
Yeah.
Like they tried to figure out, they had that positive approach, but somehow they didn't have answers to the spin of India at that stage. Klaasen was the one who really upped the ante at that stage. Markram before that showed that resilience at that stage. Maybe that ball stopped a little because that ball was also on the shorter side. It's just that you got confused. The over was already a big one. That timing of that wicket also mattered. I think in India's favour. You look at David Miller's wicket also. That timing also, Axar's superb catch at that stage, just worked out well because the momentum was building. Imagine that shot going for 6. Suddenly, you 6 runs added, and that much partnership is not broken. So that was a crucial moment, and that's why fielding effort has to be applauded. Axar had a phenomenal day in the field with the ball and in the outfield as well.
Performer of the day, you would have to say, for India, especially in the bowling effort, because there was that catch. That was a blinder. That was brilliant. To time that jump. There was another one pretty much in the next over where he stopped a boundary at it's never easy for a 6.5-foot guy to dive, right, and go down and stop the ball with one hand. Then his bowling as well. A bit of bad luck in the power play, a few edges going for 4. But after that, his comeback in the next 3 overs, him basically just telling his captain, give me 4 every time. You have to make me bowl my 4.
He is special. We speak about so many cricketers. He's a very underrated cricketer. He could have easily been 4 overs for 19 or 20 because the first over, almost 3 boundaries or a couple of boundaries went off edges and one was for a 2. So I understand that happens in a T20, but I don't think the numbers, even though it's brilliant, is a fair reflection of how well he's bowled.
Good point. His first over was 14 runs.
Yeah.
So look at the comeback after that.
He is outstanding. He is very underrated. He is a phenomenal cricketer who is making use of his opportunities every time he steps onto that field. And that's a hard skill to achieve because, when you're playing and you're part of the Indian team like right now, he was part of the test team. He is known to be playing on turning pitches. But they felt that there were too many left-handers, they didn't play him. So you're sitting outside and thinking, okay, I was one of the best bowlers in the T20 World Cup. Now after this, in Sri Lanka, I didn't play much. And the next series against Bangladesh, I didn't play at all. And New Zealand, I'm here. But on turning pitches also, you have not played me. But then they send me on a T20 tour. okay, now here's my chance, I don't get to bowl at all. So imagine his mental state. He's going through so much. He realizes he's valuable, but they're not using him. And every day he's seeing people around him performing. It's not easy, That means somewhere he's waiting for his opportunity, and that can lead to desperation very quickly. But still, to come out there, last game we saw with the bat what he was able to do. Unluckily got run out because it hits the bowler's hand and hit the stump. Today he got an opportunity with the bat, but just the one ball. But when he got the opportunity to bowl, we've seen what he done. And it didn't start off very well. If you do remember, he dropped a catch early on of Hardik's bowling. Rickleton was the batter. But to come back with the ball, do that, again on the field, do that, is a very resilient cricketer. It's a very endearing attribute to have, and one that I hope that he really holds on to, because not everybody can be put through such a grind and perform immediately when given a chance, and that's great to see.
Is he one of your names that will definitely go on the team sheet for T20s for India in the next coming few months?
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Look at the advantage. Look at how he is able to give that kind of balance to playing 11. You've been using him as a floater. You've been using him in different positions. You've been using him in the power play when he's playing.
Yeah.
So that also one option is there. It's not easy for any bowler to be able to do two-phase or three-phase kind of a job, especially for the spinners.
Yeah.
You predominantly look at using spinner between after power play is done and till about 15-16 overs. With Axar, you have that advantage. And when you have that advantage, add his fielding also. So that kind of a cricketer is a perfect fit for this format.
It's so interesting. You say he's doing multiple phase bowling. He's also doing multiple phase batting. What DK spoke about, that batting at 4 and batting at 6 is two completely different things. Akshar's been doing that effortlessly as well. Sometimes coming to bat at 4-5, sometimes at 7-8. It's, an all-rounder normally is worth 2 cricketers. And if that guy is doing 2 and 2, he's worth 4 cricketers, right? He's doing a fantastic job. Did that today as well. When we look at the South African batting, we've spoken about Marco Jansen and Heinrich Klaasen, how good they were. But you look at 2 batters over there today, and you're looking at Tristan Stubbs and David Miller, and you're saying, okay, they played 5 overs amongst themselves and gave only 30 runs, which means that the rest of the team had to get 119-15, right? Suddenly, when you break that down, you're thinking, wow, the bowlers really got them properly stuck today.
We bowl very well through the middle, especially over 7 to 10. And Zach was alluding to that earlier, saying that's the stage where we control South Africans before they let loose with Klaasen, and then Marco Jansen followed. And what we did really well through that phase is in 10 overs, if you can stop them at 84, that's quite an effort. Pick up 4, you're on top of the game. You're always playing catch-up after that, no matter who you are. And at that stage, we had some of the best bowling come from, obviously, Varun Chakaravarthy picked up that early wicket, but it was Axar Patel who controlled what was happening, bowled the last over in the power play, 5th over in the power play, came back and bowled another couple of overs in that stage, and he was looking very, very good. And that put the brakes on them. Stubbs is someone who tried, played with a lot of intent, didn't get going. Miller, on the other hand, is lacking confidence. It's but too obvious. He's not able to pick the wrist spinners, and he's not able to trust the shot that he wants to play. He doesn't know which one's coming and which one is going out. So he doesn't know what shot to back, whether to go down the ground. Unless it's really full, he's not able to connect the ball, because once it pitches slightly further out from him, he doesn't know which one's coming in and which one's going out. So he's not able to line up for a shot quick enough. And because our bowlers are bowling quicker, he is losing time. And that's what happens when you're not confident. As a batter, when you have confidence, you pick length well. And when you don't have confidence, it takes that extra microsecond or 2 microseconds where you lose time and you're late on the ball and you can't hit the same ball for a 6 which you used to when you're confident. And that is very evident when David Miller is batting.
The person who gives him confidence actually has given him so much confidence who's bowling to him today. Hardik Pandya, who's given him so much confidence in the IPL. The other guy who's given him so much confidence is our dear friend Ashish Nehra, who's chilling in Goa or making auction strategies at a secret location. We don't know. But it looked like today, the shot that he actually hit from the middle of the bat, the missile, was the one that was caught by Axar Patel. That was the shot which you sometimes feel like small moments can really change your day. That ball, literally a meter left, right or above, would have perhaps changed David Miller's day, South Africa's fortunes, but was not to be. I think the same thing with Rickleton's dismissal. That was a very fortunate dismissal for Arshdeep. And then you look at the wicket that Aiden Markram has gifted Varun Chakaravarthy. I won't say he took that wicket. It was gifted to him. You could see Aiden Markram after that going, how have I got out to this ball? I should have hit it for 12 runs.
See, what I liked from South Africa's batting tonight was the intent they showed against India's best bowler in this series, which is Varun Chakaravarthy.
Yeah.
It's not easy for any side when someone has taken that many wickets in the series to come out this way. They were trying things. Now, with this, you sometimes going to see success, sometimes you're not going to see success.
Yeah.
Varun Chakravarthy managed to get 2 wickets, but in the process has gone for runs as well today.
Yep.
And Markram's, if you look at 29 of 18 deliveries, of that, I think 14 runs he scored in that last over before he got out.
Yeah.
So he was also not able to get going, and that's the South Africa's batting card today. A lot of the batters, they were showing that intent, but they were not able to get going. And after taking that many deliveries, they were getting out. And that's where you're seeing, like Miller also, 18 of 18, it looks like that, but that shot going for 6, suddenly it's 18 deliveries, 24 runs.
Yeah.
And then one more shot, it just adds to that strike rate. That's how this format goes. That's why it's so important for batters also to figure out that formula, to achieve that balance. Where they know, okay, you've soaked in that many deliveries. At times you soak in 10 deliveries for 3 runs, 4 runs. But you're taking that time to launch after that and cover that strike rate. When you're able to do that, and when you crack that formula of achieving that 100, 120 strike rate balance and then launch from there, suddenly your strike rate is looking at 170, 80 or 200 at times. That's what Indian batters have figured out very nicely. And that's something at times you've seen batters getting that block in their in building of the innings.
Yeah.
So that is something which I think happened with South Africa today. On the whole, they'll be happy with the intent, but at 10 over mark, and that's because of Indian team's bowling as well, they were 25 runs behind. So in spite of playing that back 10 doing such a good job, they still fell short of the target.
Yeah, if you see, I think the stark difference in, they didn't come close in the first match. They've come reasonably close in this match, in this chase. But the good thing for India is in both the 200 efforts, there's been one person, Sanju Samson in the first game and Tilak Varma today, who, when their good day is going, have completely cashed in.
And that's what you expect out of a top order batsman. You can't always get in, but when you get in, you need to make it count. That's very important. And at a healthy strike rate.
200
and
plus
both
for both
those,
of them. Yeah.
both of them have done that really well. If you get it at a slower strike rate, a lot of the times you actually end up on the losing side. It is not as helpful as people think it can be. And it was good to see both these batters, when they got in, they made it big. Today it was Tilak Varma's turn, but exactly the point that what he spoke about was, sometimes you need to understand how to absorb that pressure. You need to show intent, but if boundaries don't come, you don't want to be frustrated. You should realize that it's okay, I can make it up. Now that self-belief comes with experience. And I think Tilak Varma, having played IPL and going through the rigors of a vibrant tournament like IPL, has the confidence to back himself at the international level, to understand that, okay, right now somebody's wicket is fallen, I'll still have intent, but in case I don't get going, I'll make it up. And that's what he did in the last 5 overs. And with South Africa, it was different. The batters didn't cash in today. And that's why if they had a 75-80 from someone, the game would look very different. Not always are you going to get a Marco Jansen type of innings. We have to understand that. That is very hard. You can get a 50 of 24 balls pretty regularly. But 50 of 16 is very hard. It is hardly done. So today, South Africa actually got lucky because of the way Jansen is batted. But still, if one of Klaasen or the Stubbs or some of them had got a bigger score, that's when you have a realistic chance of chasing down a total like this.
Yeah, and their top three has been a constant concern for them for a long time, and still remains, because 20, 21, 29, you expect better from your top 3 when you're playing in the power play and you're chasing 220.
See, first 10 overs, so power play and 10 overs. Power play was important, and they were trying to do things, but it was just good bowling at that stage.
Yeah.
So that is where I think Indian bowling unit did well. Collectively they managed to, they knew that the South African batters are going to come hard, but they won that phase of the game. Yeah. And that is something which really set the platform for them. And then 10 over mark, as I'm saying, 25 runs behind, you always going to find it very difficult. And that's where the charge from Klaasen came in. And he was successful to a certain degree, and Marco Jansen took it to that level. So there were a lot of positives after that for South Africa, but the work was just too much.
I think one positive for them today, even though they fell short, I think one positive, DK, they will take is that they managed to decode Varun Chakaravarthy. He who has just been such a mystery for them in the first two games. Whatever they tried against them today, he'll be the first to admit that it worked because he's gone for over 50, as has Hardik. But let's talk about Varun because he's been a thorn in their side.
I won't say Varun Chakaravarthy has been decoded by South Africa purely because Varun Chakaravarthy has found it hard to bowl to Klaasen even in IPL. And it was Klaasen who took him down today.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't completely say it that way. I don't think everybody in the South African team believed that they can take down Varun Chakaravarthy, but definitely Klaasen did. Markram has hit a 6 or 2 in IPL as well, but today it was good to see him put pressure. The moment he made a mistake, he was putting pressure. And what's the difference is as a captain, you need to show intent. Even if he's the best bowler of the series so far, he showed the intent when the moment was there, and that's very important. So if I was Varun Chakaravarthy, I'll realize that, okay, Klaasen had a better day today, but I've got him out twice. And if you're Klaasen, you're thinking, every time I see Varun, I need to keep him on that back foot. He needs to be worried if he's bowling to me. But it was a day where Varun was definitely outplayed by a couple of South African batters. For sure.
Yeah, Klaasen for sure. And Klaasen is the one, which is what was surprising in the first two games, right? That he completely outfoxed Klaasen, a person who has got the better of him before, and a person who's so good playing spin. We've seen him, he's been so fantastic playing spin. And today, he had Varun on the back foot, and he got on the back foot, because that's what he does really well, right? Klaasen gets on the back foot and hits sixes. So I think maybe going into the last game, that's a contest that you're looking forward to again, right?
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. But for South Africa, I think there are a lot of positives from this game, especially from their batting, and especially from the back 10 of their batting. Klaasen's form is something which is very important for them. We often speak about power and in this middle order of South Africa, and today's game was an example of what we've been talking about. Even in the halfway mark combox, we were saying that this partnership is going to be very, very important.
Yeah.
They need to consolidate. Yet 14 runs per over at this stage simplifies the game for you because you have to go hard, and that is something which worked in their favor as well. But Klaasen's form is going to be very important in the last game for them.
You look at India, I mean, didn't bowl Ramandeep today because there was obviously a lot of pressure. So effectively, Surya has gone with five bowlers today. Do you think that 5 bowlers with Hardik being your 5th is okay, or India still has to go with 6, even though Hardik is in your mix?
In bilaterals, it's fine, GK, if you want to try out players. Otherwise, you wouldn't have given an opportunity to a Ramandeep Singh, but you can't do that in multi-nation tournaments.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Too much pressure on a captain. Basically, you're trying to tell me that not one bowler can have a bad day. Or no matter how bad a day he has, I have to still back him. Even if he's not getting his run-up. On some cases, a couple of beamers or somebody just pulls up with a hamstring or something like that, then that becomes an issue as well. So it's too big a risk in multi-nation tournaments or a knockout game. But in a bilateral, it's still understandable because you want to strengthen your batting, bolster your batting a little bit. So it's still fine, but that's not the solution for sure in the long run.
Suryakumar Yadav in the post-game conferences said that Tilak Varma came to his room yesterday and said, "Can I please bat at number 3?" So Surya said, "Yeah, sure, you can bat at number 3 tomorrow." That's really interesting. And I've also heard Saurav Ganguly tell me once about how Ashish Nehra used to come to his room. There are players who will do this, right? Who will just effectively just knock your door down, literally and metaphorically, but literally knock your door down and say, "Give me more opportunity, let me open, let me go up, give me the new ball."
Well, when a player comes and says positive thing, he's not asking for a demotion, he's asking for a promotion. So he's asking for more responsibility, which is always a good sign. And more often than not, captains, the coaches, the management, usually they're happy to see these kind of individuals who wants to be in the foreground, who wants to take more responsibility. It also shows the confidence in that individual and hunger to want more opportunity to do well.
I'll not forget, now that this issue has come up, this topic has come up. Shubman Gill, when he was playing, when we were playing for KKR and I was the captain, he was batting at number 7 and I really liked him at 7 because very calm head and he had won me a few games. I really liked what he was doing. Him and Russell was like the firecracker. He was more like the ice and I liked that combination. in Hyderabad, I'll not forget, in the ITC hotel there, after a match. And I don't remember if we won or lost, doesn't matter. But anyway, we came back after the match. He said, DK, I want to come to your room. I said, yeah, please. So he walked into my room and said, look, I want to open now. I said, you want to open? Like, I really like you. He's like, no, I think I'll make a difference for you at opening. And at that stage, Narayan was opening and he wasn't doing as well as we would want. We were searching, but I was reluctant to go to Shubman Gill. But he's like, no, you give me the opportunity, I'll make it work for you. And, as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah, it is. Well done, DK. We did not know that you had a hand to play in this. It's good when players come up like Zach is saying, when players come up and ask for that responsibility, and Tilak asked for that responsibility today and delivered. What a fantastic 100 he scored today. That was just a beautiful innings. In case you missed the first half, I'm going to tell you it was a 200 strike rate 100 that he scored. It was Abhishek Sharma who was the aggressor early on in their partnership that was in the power play, but then he just picked up gears after Abhishek left. I think that's what was good today. You saw the maturity of how he went with the flow of the game. It was not like telling Abhishek, oh, I'm going to match you shot for shot. He was happy playing second fiddle to him at that point in time. And when his chance came, he went.
When you're looking at Indian batting lineup and Indian batting setup and the examples which all these guys are seeing also of players, what they're able to do. In this format also, now suddenly we are seeing hundreds. And when you're looking at this batting lineup, one guy scoring 100, it just makes it so much easier for all the others to just rally around him.
Yeah.
You've seen that intent from everyone. Because Tilak was controlling that innings so well, Surya also was looking to be aggressive as soon as he walked in. Hardik was stepping down on the first delivery, looking to put bowlers under pressure. You're able to do that because you know whoever is batting. You've seen back-to-back hundreds of Sanju Samson also. You've seen the number of hundreds which Surya also has scored. What it does, it's just creating that culture that, okay, it's a short format, 20 overs, but if one guy is having a good day, he is making it count and converting that into 100, which is amazing strength for any team if they're able to do that.
Yeah, well...
And if you do look at that scorecard, GK, India had a very similar looking scorecard because if you look at Hardik Pandya and Rinku Singh, they've got 26 of 29 balls.
Yeah.
Batting at 5 and 6. Yep. So at that stage, Tilak Varma still was just hanging on, batting with intent. And then the Arshdeep Singh came and gave you that little impetus, but it was Tilak Varma who still did the bulk of the scoring. And going back to what Zach is saying, when one batter gets going, to cash in is so important. And that's why they got 219. Otherwise, they would have folded at 190, 195, and the game would have been all but done there itself. But that's maturity. It comes. A lot of the South African batters also have it, but the top three haven't done something similar to what the Indian batters have done so far.
Yeah, which is why India is now leading the series 2-1. And that means that India cannot lose this series. So, there you go. I think it's been since 2015 that India has not lost a T20 series in South Africa. Well, there you go. First one by 61 runs. Second one was won by South Africa. And the third one that's today has been won by India by 11 runs, which takes us to the fourth T20I day after tomorrow, or actually tomorrow, if you go by the clock. And that's going to be happening in Joburg. Team changes. Would you see any team changes happening, gents? Let's start with India. We saw one debut cap given to Ramandeep. Can't lose the series now. Would you like to play the players who have not got a chance yet? Yash Dayal, Vijayakumar Vishak, Jitesh Sharma?
I'd love to see one of the fast bowlers come in the bull ring, as it's called when they play in Johannesburg. It's not a pitch that's very conducive to spin bowling.
Yep.
It doesn't turn. It comes pretty much straight on. And the boundaries are very short on the sides as well, as always, in South Africa. So another fast bowler will definitely be helpful, and pretty biased, but I would love to see a Yash Dayal to see how he goes in international cricket. Why not?
Hasn't Vishak played with you as well?
Vishak also. I was about
Vishak's also played with you.
Was already a part of the Indian team. He's part of the test team now, and hence I would like to see a Yash Dayal.
Basically, he's saying that I want my retained player to play because we don't know whether Vijayakumar will come to us or not.
That's one way to put it for sure.
Would you like to see one of the quicks? Let's ask you.
I'd love to. I think, that's once you know that the series is pretty much in your control, you're not going to lose the series from here. Yeah. This is a good opportunity because at the end of the day, you're looking at giving game time to all these talented individuals as well.
Yeah.
And you want to see what they bring to the table at the highest level. You also have a World Cup, which is, say, a year and a half down the line. So that is something which they'll definitely be thinking about. If they're able to do that, it will be a good positive sign.
Wow, suddenly when he said a World Cup is a year and a half ago, it just made me think, wait, I still have a hangover and the next party started? What's going on? Yeah, but that is true. There is a T20 World Cup happening every 2 years now. So yeah, there is the fact that you're building towards it and you're checking all those options. For South Africa, any team changes you think happening for them?
No, I think South Africa have a very well sorted side in terms of this construct of the 11. They have 3 fast bowlers, they have Keshav Maharaj, and they obviously have Marco Jansen, who's done very well, plus
4 quicks today, yeah.
Markram. So they have 4 quicks and they have 2 spinners as well. So I think it's as good a team as they can get.
So they'll probably play the same 11, even though they've lost today. They'll play the same 11.
I think they've figured out the balance right now, finally.
Yeah.
By the time 30-20s happened,
Yeah.
they'll stick to the same playing 11.
Okay, if I was to ask you to pick, I'm going to step away from it because I picked Gerald Coetzee.
Your man had a very okay day.
I think I also picked Sanju Samson.
I don't think you should go anywhere close to Sanju Samson. You're going to get a lot of flack from social media. Every time you've said his name, he's not had his good day.
But don't you think, I mean, it's crazy because cricket's such a great leveler, right? You talk about Varun Chakaravarthy picking up so many wickets. Got a 5 in the last game, then goes for 50 here. Gerald Coetzee, the hero of the last game, doesn't get runs, goes for runs as well. Yeah. It's a leveler. Sanju Samson gets 200s and then gets 2 ducks. And those 2 ducks happen on either side of his birthday, actually. Right? And you only want so many ducks on your birthday if you're getting them with pancakes and hoisin sauce. You know what I mean? Yeah. But otherwise you don't. So that's it. I'm out of this. I am not picking any player to watch out for. It's all up to you guys.
My pick would be Rinku Singh with the bat. I would love to see him get runs. And for South Africa, I would like Markram to score big.
Okay. That's good.
Interesting. I was going to pick Markram for sure. He looked good. I think he looked
the
decent.
part.
I think he just needs that. He's one innings away.
Okay. You can choose David Miller if you want because he's struggling as well.
I think Miller.
Okay.
For South Africa and for Indian team, I'll go in with the bowler this time, left armer Arshdeep.
Okay, good. I like that. That's pretty good. We could see a left arm opening pair again. We could see Dayal and Arshdeep in the next one. That'll be quite exciting. But that we'll know day after tomorrow. 8:30 is the game. We'll be here at 8 p.m. Right after the toss. So do join us then. We have the joy factor question to tackle before we go. Let's have a look at what the question was in case you missed it on your screens now. Which Australian fast bowler's last test resulted in a win that also marked the debut and only test for an Indian cricketer? Come on.
Who was that?
Anybody? Somebody?
Karan Sharma, nahi?
Wow.
But the answer is an Australian bowler. The answer is the Australian. Bowler. Yeah.
Then
Ryan Harris?
Ryan Harris, yeah. Ryan Harris.
Was it his last test? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I really don't know.
Yeah, I was also guessing that. I don't know.
Excellent. Pacer from the 90s.
Oh.
Wow.
Anyone? Anybody? Somebody? Anybody? Somebody? Anybody?
You said you knew the answer for a change.
Yeah, I did at that time, but it's so late now.
What was your answer?
I've forgotten. I've literally forgotten now.
What was the answer?
I was thinking Paul Rifle.
You weren't thinking that. I can tell
thinking
you that for sure. Yesterday you thought something very different.
It's Craig McDermott is what I was thinking yesterday. Let's see what the answer is. I'll just name all the Aussie. Merv Hughes, Bruce Reid, Damien Fleming, and Rahul Sangui. A neighbour, he stays in the next building, doesn't he? Pretty much 2 buildings down from our studio is Rahul Sangui. Yes, DK, you're looking at me very perplexed.
I was just amazed at the names you came up with offhand.
Yeah.
Paul Rifle.
Right.
Something to do with umpiring.
That match was not.
Wait, I was also thinking of Tony Dodimid.
Was it the match in Wankhede?
Was it the match in Wankhede?
Has to be, no, Zach? That's the only match he's played. That's means.
what.
Yeah. So Craig, who was the answer? Damien Fleming.
Damien Fleming.
That was his last. Zach, it was just such a GK. I think it's getting late now. I'm getting it all wrong.
What did you think?
One sec. He's got the bowler's name wrong, then he got our names wrong also. He just said, you said Craig. Zach, what did you say? I'm like, Zach. Yeah, it's way past DK's bet. The thing is that DK around this time is used to appearing in 2D. Right? Now he's having to appear with us in 3D. It's really confusing him. All right, so we won't confuse him anymore. We're going to say goodnight to you. After we tell you who our winner was, our winner, the person who did know, Shaurya Pandey. Congratulations. कमाल करते हैं पांडे जी, कमाल करते हैं, मजा आ गया. Well done. So congratulations to you. A lot of Shaurya, no prize, but lots of Shaurya coming your way. A big thank you to Zaheer Khan and Dinesh Karthik. Thank you, DK. Thank you for being here, gracing us with your presence.
Absolute pleasure.
I hope to see you on Sunday as well. Don't tell anybody anything. This is one of those cliffhangers. You have to wait and see if you'll be here or not on Sunday. Be here. That's all we have time for. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you Friday evening, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Thank you for watching. Good night.